Coke dads. Coke dads. Coke dads.
Coke Daddy.
I don't like when you call it Coke Daddy. That makes it sound like you're like Coke Daddy. You know what I mean? Like you got Coke and she's only here because you got Coke. Which we know you're used to.
We got jokes.
We got Joke Daddy.
Joke Daddy.
Joke Daddy.
Joke Daddy. Welcome back to the Joke Dads podcast.
Joke Dad. It makes it sound like we tell dad jokes.
Because you make it sound like we're dads. Hi, I'm Brandon.
You might be.
No, I don't think anyone would have kept it.
No?
Well, the B stands for Brandon, right?
No with those eyes?
Oh, maybe.
There's just
What about you? You go on rampages.
Yeah, except I don't... I've nutted in like one person my whole life.
How'd it feel?
Yeah, pretty good.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, of course. I highly recommend. Turns out that's what it's made for.
It being the vagina or the penis?
No, like the whole act of sex.
Oh, yeah. This episode's brought to you by sex. Are you doing it? Use protection. Or don't.
Durex.
Can you imagine? That's our first sponsor.
We should look into gambling sponsors now that they can put money in. Like, bet 888. Did your dad leave you at casinos? Well, if he didn't, bet online. You don't have to leave the comfort of your house to forget your children. That's pretty funny.
It's funny that we have two completely different dad stories in casinos. My dad's story is like we went to Caesars. My brother got me a friend's fake ID, so I'm like 16 with like ID and Caesars. And maybe I was 18, but it's 21 there. That makes more sense. He gives me $20. And he goes, let me show you how easy it is to lose money. There's a big slot machine in the hotel. Put it in, it like wins me like $300. Immediately. Like I was like, yo, imagine put like 100 in there. Like we're gonna.
Yeah.
And that's my experience with my dad.
That's how.
But that's like, what's your experience with your dad in casinos?
At casinos? Well, multiple times, but he would just forget that I was with him because the casino in Johannesburg. Oh, you figured it out. Now you're so tall.
You were like,
okay. Now I need a booster seat.
Yeah. If you've been watching our latest episodes, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so he would just like, the casino in South Africa is like an entertainment venue, so there's like more than just the casino going on. So there's like a skate park, and there's a comedy club there.
Comedy club, skate park.
Arcade, movie theater.
In like 3 years, we should perform there.
Yeah, we could go back there.
No, but
I could go back there.
I could come with you.
We'll see.
We'll see where we're at in 3 years.
I bet he barely books me. You think, hey, you want Bubby's Boys?
Ariel's upset because when BlogTO asked us about the name Back Room, my response was, well, it doesn't matter what the name of the room is. I'm going to steal Ariel's idea and take it on elsewhere. So I see why in 3 years.
I'm not upset by that. I wish you the best of luck. You will fail.
The other names are great.
On your own, you would fail.
Oh, well, on your own, you wouldn't do so great either.
No, I know that, but I would get a bit further, I think.
That'd be a fun, if we were real life Kenny versus Spenny, that'd be a funny episode. Like, you get the club for a week, I get the club for the week.
I'll do that with you.
It like turns out the exact
Let's give it 6 months.
Let's just do it properly.
Yeah.
You know?
But in like 6 months, we should try it.
Hey, in the comments, oh, this isn't like that.
You can.
Leave whose comedy club you'd want to come to more.
What's the name of yours?
I'm not telling them that.
Okay.
Because they're going to take it.
I only named it Back Room because we were in a back room.
No, I'll tell you guys. Here are the other names, I guess. No, let's not. I don't know. Well, I don't know what to do.
Well, you know what? Tell them why. Because you think someone watching Coke Dads is like, what a great name for a comedy club.
That's what
I can't wait to
It's called Coke Dads, not Dumb Idiots, right? So.
Coke Dads, the comedy club.
Maybe I should learn this week to be less delusional and paranoid.
Yeah, you were very paranoid.
Very paranoid and delusional.
You told them about it.
I did tell them about it?
No, I'm saying tell them
about it. I thought that my old job, which technically is the 1%, owned BlogTO because I watch
they might
Succession.
own it.
Because I watched Succession, I thought that like...
They might own it.
Let's be real. If I had a lot of money, if I was like, we'll use a different example, not the place I used to work at, but say I was Galen Weston, okay? And I had all that cash, I would own media companies.
He probably
all
does.
day. So in my delusional state, I thought definitely not Galen Weston owned BlogTO. So I was a mess.
And you thought they were coming
To take me down. This is so embarrassing.
What would they have done? How would they have taken you down?
I don't know.
Walk me through it.
I left
Like
on,
they would have made an
I
article.
left on some good terms. So I was worried that they were just going to like... Because one of the things in the good terms contract says you can't...
So that's what you're calling it, the good terms contract?
That's the name of this episode. The good terms contract. But in the good terms, in the favor for Brandon document, it says I can't slander. And then I got all paranoid and I was like, do I slander? And like, it's funny, I've listened to my jokes back since then. Not once am I slandering anyone. I'm me.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like,
I mean, there's probably grounds for slander in what you say.
why, which part of the Habibi part?
No, that's... no, that's...
No, that part of the joke. I'm not going to say
No,
that
just...
joke.
Well, you imply where you work.
Here's the thing with the...
You make fun of how bad a job it is. That's all slander.
But here's the thing, it's not the company that I'm slandering, it's the job. I don't think that company was great. Everywhere I've sold credit cards, that was the best. I had benefits, I had salary, it was dope. You know, but credit cards as a whole is a job for people that didn't plan their future.
I'm just saying there's probably room for slander in that. I'm not saying you are slandering. I'm just saying there's room for slander in that. If I were a lawyer and I heard any of those words, I'd be like, maybe there's slander here.
If you were a lawyer, I feel bad for your clients because you have a problem reading. And you're going to...
What? Why?
Because you're projecting on me.
How was I projecting?
Who am I slandering on? I have never once slandered... I slander you all the time.
I just don't think you would know what slander is.
I look it up. You have it right there.
Okay.
The definition of slander.
Okay, you tell me what you think slander is.
I think it's me making fun of the company and saying that like they're racists or they're like homophobic or like trying to... You know how we make jokes? How our audience is somehow a lot of them look like feminist bloggers?
Make false and damaging statements.
I would never do either of those things. All right, so here on the Brandon Paranoid. But yeah, going back, I was paranoid. Literally thought that the 1% owned BlogTO and the BlogTO interview was going to just come out like slander.
He just slanders his old job at his new comedy club.
Yeah,
that's what you thought
that's
they were
what I
going
thought they were going to do. And then it made me realize so much this week. By realizing that, not only do I realize I'm sketch and like being paranoid, but I also realize that the narcissism involved, where I think that like I can't be secondary to the club. That I think that like they're coming to review our club of comedy, but in my head, me.
Yeah.
Do you see what's the problem is? So it's like this week
That is a
specifically,
problem.
it's a huge problem.
That's a
and
real
this week's
problem.
great because like this week I know you're dealing with your own shit, but like I've been a lot more mellower than recently. Just knowing that like, yeah, if you want to make it super weird, I am the main character in my movie of life.
Yes.
That being said, I'm
Nobody
secondary.
cares.
Yeah, nobody cares at all. And for me to think for a second that mine and your club that we've worked really hard on was just about taking down, like that's disgusting behavior.
Well, also, here's my point: is even if they published that article, what would have happened?
Wait, which article?
The one that's like slander comedy club. What would they have done?
Oh,
would you still own the comedy
One
club
of them
today?
hates grocery stores, and one of them hates ballparks. It's just like all they do is they go up there and they just hate, slander. What planet do I live on that I thought that was the article? Someone's like, hey, can I get a couple free drinks and a night of entertainment? And I'm just like, here, ruin my life. And it just showed me how sad I am. And it's like I can blame the not working out, and I can blame the fucking cigarette abuse and the weed abuse, and I can blame all this shit. But the fact of the matter is, no matter why, that is not good behavior.
No, but the other things are mechanics to distract you from the...
To that, but the fact that I even have that behavior, like, this is the thing, if you're watching at home, or like, I know you, we're these people. Where instead of like, at least we're not like self-sabotaging, going upstage and like saying shock words. But like what we do is, this is the best life's ever been in my adult life.
Yeah,
But instead of being like, hey, dope, I'm just like, me, and like, it's so sad, bro. It's so sad that I'm almost 40 and my dreams are coming true. And instead of being grateful every day, I'm just like, well, what's gonna fuck up this time, you know? On this episode of Brand, what's gonna fuck up today? And it's disgusting behavior. And I had to take a long look in the mirror at that handsome gentleman in the mirror, in the reflection.
So not all hatred.
No, just stupid behavior. Just like we had this talk on the last or 2 podcasts ago. Coke Dads episode 11.
Oh yeah, this is Coke Dad's episode 11. We didn't do that.
Well, we did introduce.
We didn't release episode 10 or tell you why we didn't release episode 10. We just
In
ignored
all
it.
fairness,
Nobody cares.
You were on top. No one cares, definitely. But you were on top of it. You had everything done for me. I didn't realize that, like, whenever you were like, "Hey, did YouTube?" that didn't include "Hey" and Anchor, which does Spotify.
Well, I never did that.
No, totally. That's why on the Tuesday before I was like, "Hey, you know that job you never do?" You're like, "Yeah, I didn't do it either." Yeah. So since the last one, you had that timer. Because again, I haven't even at this point, if we're going to be transparent, I haven't even edited the clips for that week's episode.
I edited
You did
one,
the
yeah.
clip, and it was a great clip. But it showed you how this is what's the best part of life. Life is great, and like, you know, I guess when I say the universe, I just mean that reflection where it's a very good movie or TV show or something I can't write myself. Does that make sense? When I say the universe, I don't mean like.
I guess I don't have such an love for
I love
movies and TV.
screenplays
I
and
don't
movies,
like.
but I see this.
I know
crazy
life
shit.
isn't a movie or a TV, and
I
that
just see it. Well, no, that's the thing. That goes back to this is.
and that even in the best version of how life could go, it's not a movie. It's not a.
Forget the best. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, so we had our headliner last weekend.
We couldn't have scripted that.
We couldn't have scripted the whole night. But then the craziest part of what happened is after the most ludicrous behavior of all time, who shows up?
Robert Cackham.
And what happened last time? What made Robert Cackham quit that whole fight? What was the root of it? The start.
The headliner.
And then you can't write that.
No, you
can't
can't.
write as a headline. You can't write that.
I mean, you could see it coming.
Let me catch you guys up, okay? You can't write that 9 months ago or so, one of our good friends, the 3rd member of Bubby's Boys, but no longer now he
OG.
barks. Maybe he can bark, but our boy, we were gonna name the club Cackums, okay? That's the name of my club.
would
To
never.
go full circle, I was gonna
We
name
would
my club
never.
Cackums. Hackums.
There's no ways I was gonna.
Cackums.
Chachams.
So 9 months ago,
We sell bagels and Lux.
Ariel and I had, I guess, lost our first comedy club,
Mm-hmm.
and then we booked a very successful comedian who, now that I've seen all weekend, lives up to the hype.
Oh yeah.
Check out his Netflix special, but we're not going to say his name because some weird shit happened. But like,
Well, I mean, nobody we can talk
cares?
about it.
Yeah, just check out our.
We'll talk about it later in the episode on the Patreon.
So he dips out. He just, for some reason or not, he just decides that during the audience it wasn't for him and leaves.
Yes.
And then as he leaves, let's rewind before. Robert Cackham had a fight over comedy that led to like a fist fight.
He was saying that night we lost the club. He came over to support us. I was saying how
Support
embarrassed.
himself.
No, he came up. He did. He was in his defense. He was trying to make us feel
He
better
was trying to make laughs.
in his way, which is terrible. I don't know how he has a girlfriend.
She's delightful. Shout out to Hava.
Yeah, but basically, he was saying how it didn't matter that we had that headliner. It didn't matter, and he's not wrong.
course he's not
Retrospectively,
wrong.
his timing though was we just lost
But
the first
then-
club,
but-
and then him and my roommate got into a fight about how successful that.
Well, that turned into like how the roommate's job was basically my job, and then turned into
And-
suicide talks.
And now he's fucking in farming school, and then they were like, he was
yeah,
like,
so then
"You
Robert
want-"
quit from there. He went to farming school. He did all this crazy stuff, and then now Robert shows up again for the first time we've seen him.
and the
then-
headline of
and
pieces.
that's what I believe. That's my universe. Where it's like I couldn't write that.
Yeah, you couldn't. I get. Okay, I get that. What I'm saying is, to me, it's not so much as the universe, or it's kind of like if you were to sit down and write, I bet you could have written that, knowing the information you had before.
I'm
Right?
just saying it's cool. You're not wrong. Thanks for giving me that credit. First off, no hate to any blogs or anyone else or anything, but like I put my blood and sweat into writing when I do it, and nobody cares at all.
No.
And then people are just like
Words 7.
words on sentences with hot pictures, and you all flock to it. Like
Yeah, I got several texts from people being like, "Great piece."
I just got a lot on that picture because I'm doing some opera shit. I think I'm just introducing the next comic. But I look like I'm either like I'm just something crazy, and it's funny because you can tell people are clapping, but their facial expressions are like.
Okay, well.
So it's like, they are like that picture sums me up so well because it's just like I know I'm animated, but they somehow caught me being the most animated I've ever been.
I have to look at it again.
Shout out blog to you.
So this is Coke Dad's episode 11. If you're tuning in for some reason 14 minutes into the episode. We called it this because our dads did cocaine.
Not together. We don't know.
Maybe.
I'll ask him.
Unlikely.
I can ask.
Unlikely, though.
No, definitely unlikely.
Definitely unlikely, unless your dad...
Or how about that?
Our parents could have been in Israel at the same
No,
time, maybe.
The first time my dad went to Israel was last week.
Okay, then definitely not.
What blows my mind too, let's go back to the universe talk, where it's just like, what are the odds of a South African guy from Johannesburg and a Canadian
How you
guy
say Johannesburg.
from Hamilton moving to Toronto and
Hamilton.
opening? It's just like, people have stereotypes about Jews. My girlfriend calls it Jewish survival skills, but it's just like, we needed sets. I honestly believe we're both good enough now we can get sets, but we needed sets. And then every time you watch anyone good who's ever done comedy, they're like, you need between 12 and 15. And I'm happy to announce, as of last week, we have 11 shows going every fucking week. Dope.
Was that going somewhere?
Well, it was going back to the universe thing where it's just like, if you told me, and this is one of my new jokes, so sorry to be that guy, but if you told me to like, remember before I told you about manifestation, and it's like, look at what you were like as a kid, and like your high school years to what you are now? I'm literally in parks, or like skate parks, selling chuckles to people. People buy them, do too, you know? I got like, you laughed yesterday, I heard your cackle, it's fine, I'm not trying to get the laugh. I'm just trying, well I guess I was, which is super fun too.
Yeah, we've realized the last 2 days.
I was on, just like
You're
desperately
almost like-
needing attention,
like
needing
this,
validation.
like all day yesterday. You're like, I'm funny, right?
I was like a really
yeah.
bad kid. I'm not even like a girlfriend. I'm like a child. It's just like I'm laughed at, papa. No, but seriously, it's just crazy. If you told me that when I was a kid I'd be living in Toronto, had a really good friend, and like we were just like, I'm sorry to be that guy, but like this is the best my adult life has been. Since I've been an adult, I find ways to
get
ruin
better.
it. Of course, I'm just saying that like
We laid the foundations.
we're laying the foundation.
No, we've laid them.
No, because our club isn't the way. If anyone's listening and you have access to thick curtains, all we need is thick, soundproof curtains, and then we're.
I found some on Amazon, but I'm tentative, you know.
Well, message Meg. She said she knew. This is such a weird. We're just gonna. You want to just talk? So like like we're podcasting, and then it's like, well, what are your thoughts? Not yet, but when we start selling it, we just move the curtain all the way in front of the bar.
No.
Ever?
No.
So we're the tightest comedy club ever.
44 seats.
What about if we get 2 curtains?
Yeah, we can
And
do
we
that.
have 2 separate simultaneous comedy clubs going at the same time.
I had that thought yesterday.
You
And
have
like,
to go to
if
the
we get
washroom
successful,
and walk through another comedy
I
club.
thought it was funny that if we get successful, we commandeer the top bar. Like, block off the back room.
Well, no, because I like the way the vibe is there. I like that
No,
I can
I
go up and
like
watch
it.
sports. The food is great.
the nachos, man.
All of it. The fish and chips.
I ate those nachos 2 days in a row.
How much is the cowbell steak?
$21.99.
If you like steaks under $23, it's the place to be. Get mashed potatoes and gravy. Shout out Christy Pitt's Pub.
This is becoming a really boring episode of the podcast.
It's because
really
we're
good.
happy. It's because we're happy. It's like that's the weirdest part. It's like it's been such a reflective week. I went from being paranoid, delusional, from literally after that paranoia, I was like, hey, am I funny? You like me, right? We're still friends. Well, I'm funny. And like it's just so weird. I just want to live. I'm fucking 37. I'm on stage in front of like 21-year-olds just like laughing and their eyes are watering up and their vaginas are watering up and it's too much. It's just like exactly what I always wanted.
So only the women were into it?
You guys were into it too.
Okay. Well,
There was only a lot of women yesterday.
why'd you only bring up their vaginas?
Okay.
You don't think those dicks were wet?
No, yesterday there was one dude in the entire audience. Okay, so 2 dudes, but the one was like, "Don't laugh, don't make my girlfriend laugh."
Yeah.
So he wasn't taking.
Well, he warmed up a little.
in all fairness,
brought
she
that
wasn't
up.
laughing either.
I brought that up during my set. Remember, I made her laugh, and then I was like, he doesn't like it because he's.
Every time a comic, because what happens in our shows is you sit in the back and watch other comics. So because we're people, check out Sunday at the Weirdo Carnival. Ariel and I will be trying a new thing. It's a mixture of our old concept snaps, which is a cocktail of bumping kikes. And
It's already too confusing to explain.
we're just doing
come
mentalism.
watch it.
We're gonna watch mentalism.
Apparently.
Let us try mentalism. But when I was sitting in the back, it was so funny because you can literally, that front table's laughing, and then like these girls are laughing, and then closer you got to that dude, just like, and you can like feel it.
I bet he thought he was funnier than us. Also, to be fair, he was at Wednesday show.
What's the deal with that? What's the deal with people coming to comedy shows and they're just like the majority of people who come watch comedy shows are like, I'm funnier than this.
Oh, you don't do that? You've never once, while a comedian's been on stage,
Yeah, every
sat
second.
back and gone, I could be doing better than this. You've never once
That's
done
different. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that audience members who have never attempted to do stand-up.
Well, people think stand-up's easy.
It is
until that no.
After you do it for 10, 15 years, it gets easier.
Even then, no.
I don't mean it's easy.
I'm struggling right now because I can't write a fucking bit.
Yeah, but that's a joke in its own.
Everything I go up and just talk, the people are like, ha ha ha, we like you, funny man.
This is a good premise.
And then I'm like, hey, now I've had a week and a half of writer's block. I don't remember bits I was telling before that.
This is a good, you saw what I did yesterday. And I even I showed you guys. I'm telling jokes about slang and laughs. This is funny to me how you go on stage and you're like, I have an identity crisis right now. This set has one of two options. Either I'm just talking.
You saw it on Monday.
I see it every night, bro.
Monday, I did crowd work. They loved it. Anytime I told a joke, they were like,
They weren't there for our jokes. They were there for other people's jokes.
And I was like, I'm angry now.
It was weird because they didn't give I felt that wasn't, I don't know. I felt that was just a supportive audience. I felt that it was just
so we just ruined it.
Workers. We facilitated it.
So we self-sabotaged on stage.
Not on purpose. It's just what I learned on that set is what I get to do now being Brandon is I tell a joke that I think's really funny. I wait for the reaction, and if no matter what the reaction is, I comment on that reaction. Me and you were similar like that. Fuck, when I introduced the Hogarden water, you were just like, look at this novelty-sized cup. So you have that ability that when you're on stage,
Brought to you by Hogarden.
You could literally bring up a whiteboard with a marker and write riffs and jokes and put a line through it. And when a riff works, click the riff. And when a joke doesn't, be like,
It's pretty funny, actually.
I appreciate you, and I shout out to Ash too, because the two of you, I know I'm funny, but between you reminding me why I'm funny from all the fucking trauma, and then now
You make it sound like I'm your traumas were.
You said the funniest shit on stage the other day. You were just I was dating this girl in the summer. Shout out ex-girl. Won't say it. I was about to say her name, but then realized that that's not cool.
She's probably not listening.
I bet probably she is. If it's
no, I blocked her on everything.
So she can't follow my code tags?
Oh, I guess she could.
I don't know if she still follows me.
I might unblock. I should unblock her. I don't know.
I think she has a new boyfriend.
I don't care.
Is it the girl I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The reason we know our DJ?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he goes that she is the funniest person
she is
ever
legitimately the funny. She is 3 times funnier than you and I put together.
No, but we're not that funny. Is she funny as is she Dave Chappelle funny?
I never saw her on a stage, but just
with your years of training.
One night we were hanging out, and she just got up and started doing improv scenes, and I don't think I've laughed that hard maybe ever in my life.
So
it was legitimately she would do these little videos of reviewing product for herself, just as for fun. She would try. She would do a coffee drink or whatever that she bought. She'd just be like, Starbucks' new drink, terrible. Just go on these rants, or love it, and no matter what, it was so funny, man.
And again, okay, so before I bring the point that I was trying to bring, that's how you get a comedian male. I don't know how women are probably the same, but if you want to woo a comedian that just be funny.
Oh yeah.
That when I laugh, I'm just I come back. I love it. It's nothing like laughing. And then the reason I brought it up is that you were on stage and said this person's the funniest I've ever met, and it's because her parents didn't.
Both
her parents didn't love her. So then after what me and Ari will do, we tell jokes, and then sometimes something will hit. So we'll go up and be like, is that about me? And you've done that to me too. But this time I was like, hey, because you always tell me how funny I am. Am I and you're like, no, you're not the funniest person I know. But I thought that joke was about me. But he goes, you're funny because your parents don't love each other, but they really love you. And they love your siblings more than you. You broke it down to me. And then it's just
so that is exactly why.
But we all have that. To be funny, it's that.
Mine is, my dad loved me, but loved something else more.
No, something wrong. Something that's not allowed.
Yeah, and couldn't get it together enough in exchange. However, mother tried to overcompensate, making it funny on that side too.
Welcome to the
Coke
origins of funny. Joke Daddy.
Joke Daddy.